24/7.
24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika nakupenda sana. Oh, Afrika nakupenda sana.
Good evening, and welcome. This is Bold Moves Radio, and we're broadcasting from Lepompo, Polokwane, and broadcasting throughout the continent and the world. Thank you so very much. This evening, we have a special broadcast, and it is an interview because we've got guests that have visited our shores, and that is a choir from Germany called Holtenau, Kiel. And this choir is visiting the legendary Martin Luther Contereu. You know, I think MAPULA here should have to help me. I just know it as MLK. You know, and when you use this abbreviation, sometimes you lose a lot. Mama MAPULA, welcome to Bold Moves Radio, and good evening to you.
Good evening to you and your listeners.
Thank you so very much, Mama. And how are you doing? I know it has been hectic. It's like you've been going up and down from one place to the other as the choir, and it has been really busy. How has it been with you?
It's been quite hectic, as you rightly say. And we are hosting a choir. The name is Gospel Choir Holtenau. It is from a place called Kiel.
Kiel, all right, in Germany.
Yes, in Germany, yes. And our choir is Martin Luther Cantorai.
Cantorai.
That is why we call it MLK.
That's why you call it MLK. Okay, and Mama, before we go even far, let's talk about Martin Luther Cantorai. Where is this choir from, and how was this choir founded? How old is this choir? Who are the members of this choir?
The choir was established in 1983.
Okay.
And the founder of the choir is Reverend Mokebe Cleopas Mindele. May his soul rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
This choir, when he founded the choir, he was a dean at Bochabelo Seket in Sikukumi.
Oh, yes.
And because he was staying in Jane First, his pastoral house was in Jane First.
Mm-hmm.
The choir members had to travel from all areas to come to Jane First.
Okay.
We had people that were traveling as far as Pretoria, others traveling as far as Hennesburg, as far as Ranin, and as far as Luwapumu, as far as Middelburg, that were coming once a month for rehearsals.
Okay.
And the motto of this choir has always been that Reverend Minele always impressed on us very strong, that we do not need people that are able to sing. We needed people who wanted to learn how to sing properly.
That's beautiful. And let's talk about the name, Martin Luther Cantorai. Why Martin Luther Cantorai? What's behind it? What's the secret behind it?
Reverend Minele studied music first in South Africa.
Okay.
When he left for Germany, I'm not sure of the exact years that he had been in Germany, but I think he has been in Germany for 5 years studying music.
Oh, yes.
And I'm not going to be very correct here, but as far as my memory serves me, is that when he came up with the idea, that was when they were celebrating Martin Luther in that year, when he was still in Germany. And when he came back, he then proposed the name Martin Luther Cantorai.
Okay, that's beautiful. And you spoke of several places within the province and outside. how possible it is, or how easy it is for the choir members to be part of the choir? Like you said, he said something very powerful, that he's not looking for people who can sing, but people who want to learn how to sing, which I think is a very powerful one. And that says to everybody, you can be part of the choir. But how easy was it, or is it, for members to come from all around to the choir?
Let me start by saying, where there is a will, there's always a way.
True.
And there's a principle that he always impressed on us.
Oh, yes.
That when you are not, for as long as you are not a member of this choir, it is voluntary for you to come in and perhaps observe and perhaps pick up an interest. But immediately you say you want to be a member of the choir, that becomes a commitment that you do. And therefore, our practices were held, our rehearsals were held once a month. And we always made sure that in that weekend, you are available. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And let's now talk about the achievements that Martin Luther Kantorai has achieved over the years, and also the age gap, the age group. Is Martin Luther Kantorai having young people, elderly people, or is it only elderly people or young people? What can you tell us about that? And then looking at the achievements that you have behind your name this far.
Martin Luther Kantorai always comprised varied ages.
Okay.
I think when I joined Martin Luther Kantorai myself, I was around 30 years. And by then already there were people who were already 60 and above. And we used to have a name for them. Like when we traveled, we knew that it became our responsibility that above, we call them above, would always be ready to help them carry the bag when we go perhaps on a trip. And we were always people that ran around. Now, what I'm going to say here might sound wrong, but it is correct. One of the serious commitments that Martin Luther has is the achievement that Martin Luther has is that it has been a choir that has never been in any competition with any choir.
Then it has got it has got a very special mission, and I want to hear about that.
The mission for the Martin Luther Kantorai is an ever-learning process.
Oh, yes.
It's an ever-learning process because, unfortunately, the sense of competition is that when you have won a competition, you have that sense of fulfillment, a sense of knowing, I have arrived.
Yes.
And that is what our choir master has always downplayed, to say we must never get into competition. If I don't want to backbite other choirs, but I'm saying if you are always in a mood of competing, unfortunately, your life, the life of the choir, there's a time when it fades. It fades because people leave, or either people become too disappointed if they don't win competitions, or people who leave from one choir to the other, and that spirit of knowing that we are going there, not going to compete, but going to learn how to sing. Because one of the principles when he did the rehearsals always was that always when you sing, you must always your ear must be your guide. That anyone who sings next to you must always listen. You must never be higher than the person who sings next to you. So that's one thing of ensuring that the sound that comes, it must never be said about you that one can sing. We had her.
Okay.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
Sure. Wow, that's powerful. I love this. That's very powerful. And
Thank you.
And let's look at the how old is the choir? How old is the choir until now? Because
the choir is 39 years old. It's 39 years old. It's 2020. What year is this? 2023.
2023.
40 years. It's 40 years old this year.
40 years. You have to celebrate this milestone.
Yes, we are. We have celebrated our 30 years.
Okay.
Now we are going to celebrate our 40 years.
Wow.
But you asked a question that I did not answer.
Yes.
You said, how did people manage to move from so much of different places?
Yes.
I said, because when you commit yourself, then it becomes an obligation for you. And if it becomes an obligation, you will try and make all means to reach the place where we sing.
Yes.
Because we sang at Jane Fest when we were still staying in Jane Fest, and the choir practice time would be from 1 o'clock to 4:30, giving time for people who will be traveling fast.
Yes.
And the other secret that we had was that normally would be once in 6 months, we would have what we call a closed weekend, where we would come in on Friday evening, start singing, then Saturday, then Sunday. And more than often, when we had especially professors from Germany that would come in, not only from Germany, because there was also a conductor from Swaziland where we did the same, where would have those closed weekends. And on the Sunday, we go for a church service. After the church service, it's a concert.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yes.
Wow, you know, the way I love choirs, you know, I love choral music, and most especially when it's done by the church, because I believe this is the music that was born in the church, to be honest.
Yes.
And let's now go to, you know, your relationship with the German choir, Holtenau choir. How did this relationship? How did the relationship start?
The relationship started in 2007.
Okay.
We had gone for a German tour, Germany, a tour in Germany. And two of our destinations were in Hamburg, and the other one was supposed to be in Schwellen.
Okay.
And now, as we exchanged our programs, we had a miscommunication of 3 days, where these 3 days were not allocated in terms of where the choir would be accommodated.
Okay.
Now, realizing this when we were in Hamburg, we had a pastor called Pastor Tosler, who then, at the nick of the moment, thought of a plan. He threw this to the internet to say, we have a choir from South Africa, and because of miscommunication, for the 3 days they are not accommodated, and after these 3 days they've got to travel to Schwellen. Then the conductor of Kiel saw this in the internet, in the media. He picked this up. By the way, we were still in Hamburg. After picking this up, he then had a serious interest of a South African choir.
Yes.
Then we had a concert while we were still in Hamburg. They drove the 2 hours from Kiel to Hamburg to come and attend, but already with the commitment of accommodating us.
Wow.
So they were just God planned. The relationship was really God planned. Now, after they had attended the concert, we engaged them, and from Hamburg, we then moved, for those 3 days, we moved to Kiel, which is then, as I said, 2 hours drive. Then we had, now Schwellen is on the south. Schwelm is on the south, which is 4 hours from Hamburg to Schwelm. So we had to go to the north. We went to Kiel for those 2 hours drive, stayed for 3 days, and after that, we then came to Schwelm on the days that they were expecting us. Yes, this is how our relationship started, and that was in 2007.
Wow, that's good. That's beautiful. And how has been the relationship been thus far?
The relationship has been good. It has been perfect because the intention, what would I say? The mission, the real reason, the real basis of our relationship is really based on choral music.
Yes.
And what strengthens that is that we do not only do the choral music, but we also exchange our African songs by learning, teaching each other the song.
Okay.
Yes. And we make sure that whenever we have a session with them, by the time, like if we visit them, all of us would learn one song that we will sing before we part.
Okay.
As the key song that was learned amongst the others in the program, that was learned for either the 3 or the 5 days that you will be with them. Yes.
That's beautiful. Let's just take this short commercial break, and when we come back, I would love to hear now that they have visited you. What's your program, and what can we expect? And is it open for everybody? And where is it happening? More especially now that you are in the province, because when I spoke to Auke, I think they were still in Mpumalanga, but now that you are right here in our city, would love to hear your activities. But allow me to take this short commercial break.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we're in conversation with Miss MAPULA MOKOKO of the
MOKOKO. MOKOKO.
Oh, MOKOKO of MLK, the choir that is amazing, you know. And she says one thing about the choir is that, you know, it's a winning choir because it's never involved in competitions, but it's about learning, it's about encouraging each other to love music or choral music, and the commitment thereof. You have people coming from different provinces and attending the practices of the choir, and it's so amazing. And its membership spans across all the different ages, and it's so beautiful. And we continue with Mama MAPULA here. Mama MAPULA, let's look at your mission and your visitors in the city of Polokwane. What's your program, and what are we looking at?
Maybe before I do that, strike, can I just say, we first met them in 2007, as I rightly said.
Yes.
Then they made a return visit to us in 2009.
Okay.
And in 2013, they came to us to celebrate with us the 30 years of our existence.
Oh, yes.
And before 2013, we went to them. Our destination was actually Dresden in Germany, but we did touch base with them. And in 2017, we also visited them, and now they have come over to us.
Oh, yes.
So the program
Maybe with this exchange, exchange visits. Before we even look at the program for this week or for this year, what are some of the things or the learning points as you visit, as they travel? What are some of the things that you love to share with us? Ufamba ekubona loko nga famba utateka makwerhu u tsamaya ku vona how sa tsamaya u tlanyala n'wanenu, what are some of the things that you would love to share with us from the experience of your travel and your exchange programs with Holtenau now?
I would start perhaps from general to specific.
Yes.
General meaning just by going out of your comfort zone from your home and just traveling a plane for 10 hours minimum, straight flight. It's one experience that you cannot pen down. It's something out of this world. That's one experience. But one of the key learning element that our choir master, always before he died, used to tell us is that immediately you go out of this country and you go somewhere, you must know that you are always an ambassador of South Africa.
Wow.
You are an ambassador of your home. Therefore, behaving yourself properly is key when you are a visitor. So, when we visit, we never go into hotels. There was a year, I think, in the 1996 when we went there. Our program was very, very, very packed. And yes, we did go, I think, to a hotel for 2 days or something. But we hardly go to hotels. Rather, we stay in families.
Okay.
And these families are not necessarily always choir members of the people that we are visiting. Some of them are just families that are volunteering to host.
Wow.
And what we learn there, we do what we call cultural exchanges.
Oh, yes.
And what is always important for anybody listening is that when you go to any country, just make sure that before you go there, just learn something about the place. Okay. One. And two, let the basic things, your greetings, your where is the, can I use your bathroom, your thank you, your please, your sorry. Those are the basic things that you must know in any language whenever you visit a country.
Oh, wow.
And because this becomes important because we end up using sign languages when we go there, because especially when we are in a home where it's old people, old German people that have never learned English before, or they've never been interested in learning English. So what we learn with this choir and the other German people, that places that we visit, is the key is cultural exchanges, what they eat. Ask them, how is this grown? Where do you? But because one thing that I can share with you is that in Germany, for instance, Rena in South Africa is Africans. When we eat meat, we like chewing the bones, right?
Yes.
And in Germany, you don't. All their meat is boneless, right?
Okay.
That's one experience. But because they know they've been here before as we exchange, they see us love bones. And they would make a special day where they would take us to a meal and ask the butcher not to remove the bones.
Oh, yes.
For them, what they see is it's something that it tickles them to see us chewing those. Yeah, and one of the good things among the cultural exchanges with them is that they have a variety of breads, a variety of beers, a variety, like for instance, one trend that they practice is that they would never put their beer in the fridge.
Okay.
Their beers are always at room temperature.
Okay.
Those are some of the things that you learn, and like the type of churches that they build, which are very strong, which are very old, but attendance of people is very low, and how their churches are so well built, and you start understanding the system that they were using, that people in Germany, all taxpayers contribute to church.
Okay.
So it's not a matter of an individual church having to take, to pay and make sure that money is there for them to build. But it's a state thing for churches to be built.
Okay. Yes. Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's amazing. And how do they receive your culture? I see you here even putting on your cultural attire. Africans were people of color, were people of style, were people of art. And how do they receive, or how did you see them receiving our culture? I want to believe your choir members will spend from across Apedi, Bavenda, Batevele, just in our province, Lepompo, we have quite diverse cultures here. And how do they receive it out there?
They receive it excellently. Just as when we go to visit them, we've been taught, and it has become our second culture, to actually accept what is available. You'd go to families that are well-to-do, you'd go to families that are middle, you'd go to families that you see, according to the high standard of Western culture, they are a bit low. But we have learned to accept everything, and that is what we should learn. That even when they come to our place, they want to see how we live, how we eat, how we play, how we play. Our daily living, and when they visit us, we don't make the environment to be artificial and abnormal. We just leave the environment as it is, and they can see what and how we do. Yes.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's one beautiful thing about the church, because it does not matter our color, our creed, our nationality. We able to flow to each other. We're able to learn from each other. That's beautiful. Let's now zoom to the program of this week, or this time, this visit of your counterparts this time around.
They have arrived yesterday.
Okay.
Currently, as I talk to you, I'm not with them. They have arrived yesterday. And what they did yesterday when they arrived, they had supper, they had some light singing, and they retired for their sleep. Then tomorrow, when they wake up, they would then have their breakfast. And then they would travel because they are at Tiveka Lodge now.
Yes.
They would then travel to Polokwane. They would travel to Polokwane and attend a church service.
Okay.
They would attend a church service at Taberna Day, which is at Baker Street. And from the church service, they would have lunch. After lunch, then they are going to be allocated to families.
Okay.
After being allocated to families, they don't leave to those families. They then, unless the family is quite near, they would go and freshen up. They would come back, but already there's a concert at 3:30.
Okay.
At the church.
At the church. Tabernadale Church. Okay.
Tabernadale, yes. Then that would be from 3:30 to 5:30.
Okay.
Then they would leave for dinner. The next morning, which is Monday, they have I think 3 places to visit.
Okay.
They are visiting Grace and Hope Special School in Seshego. They are visiting Pakoni Malapa. And they are then going to Library Gardens to relax in the afternoon. Then they are having a concert at Library Gardens. All right. And this concert is a concert that is going to be shared. Okay. The stage is going to be shared by 4 groups, I think. Yes, 4 groups, which will be Gospel Choir Holtenau. It will be Capricorn High School. It will be Noorderland Choir. And it will be MLK. Okay. Yeah. Wow, that's beautiful. That's then beautiful. The concert will be from 6 to 8 in the evening. Okay. And how about entrance? Is there an entry fee or what's happening? Entrance fee, I actually did not confirm that one. I'm sorry, right? I did not confirm that one. Okay. As to the entrance fee, there is a fee that is going to be paid there. I'm sorry for not confirming that. No problem. And on Tuesday, they'll then visit University of Limpopo. They'll visit the SABC. Then after lunch, they will visit SAB. Then we'll have a farewell bride back at Tiveka. Okay. And on Wednesday, they would have breakfast, then depart for OR Tambo. Wow. I'm hoping to catch up with yourselves in one of the events, if time allows. Okay. Yes. That would be nice. That would be nice. Thank you so very much. And I've spoken to Auke, and he promised that he's got some of the music that they've recorded. And I would ask from you and also your counterparts choir, so that we have your music and enjoy your music. You know, one thing that is true is that when you sing and you record it, and sometimes also as a radio, we go out there and record it and let the bigger audience, the vast majority of people, enjoy what you're doing and also know what MLK is doing in our province. Because honestly speaking, to some, it might be for the first time to hear that this MLK, but it's a great choir. We really applaud you and we really appreciate. And it was so good talking to you, Mama MAPULA. But is there something that you'd love to share off the cuff that maybe we did not touch this evening? Much, right. Thank you so much. I've asked more than enough. Thank you so very much, Mama, and a blessed evening. Enjoy the tour. Thanks so very much. Thank you so much.